There's a lot more going on than just UNI wrestling right now. The state tournament just went on, and announcement last week that it's a recommendation, just so everybody understands, because I know a lot of people like, well, wrestling's out of the Olympics, huh? It's a recommendation, and it's a recommendation that we don't like, and that we're not just going to take. And the wrestling community's it's banded together right now, and it's not just USA. The World Cup's this weekend in Iran, and all those teams are getting together right now, and their presidents are on board. So it's not even just, the wrestling committees, it's their presidents, it's their top leaders are all on board in Iran and Russia, Azerbaijan. So they're fighting this thing, and I know one thing that you guys can do is go, there's websites, there's petitions out there. You can write the IOC, you can do whatever you want, you can tweet. I don't know if any of you guys tweet or not, but just keep it out there, keep it current, and make sure that your voice is heard. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, I think everyone can respect and understand what it takes to get to the Olympics, and that when you're a little kid and you're growing up and dreaming, you're dreaming about being an Olympic champion, and we don't want to take that away from our youth. I know I got two little boys, and they may or may not wrestle, but I want them to have that dream. I want them to be able to have that imagination to be able to, if it's get the winning hit in the World Series, or if it's to be Olympic champion in wrestling, I want them to have that available to them, that imagination. That's why we're fighting. We're fighting for the youth all around the world, and hopefully we can win this fight. Because it's I tell you what, it's one tough group. There's one group of people that I wouldn't want to stir their cage a little bit. It's probably wrestling people, and that the fight, and that's what the first thing is they're getting together, and people that have a lot more say than me in this world are getting involved, and they're making the politics of it kind of try to go away. So I don't know. You can ask me some more questions about it, but it's very hits home for the wrestling community, because like I said, it's what we dream about doing, and it's our number one thing. It's our Super Bowl. It's everything wrapped into one. If you could think in a major sporting event for any type of sport, that's the biggest. It's the biggest. So that's why we're fighting right now. And you hear a lot about it, but keep it out there, because I know it's a week old now, and some people start to forget about it. Don't forget about it. Stay and keep it current. So we appreciate any support that we can get. As far as national duels, I'm never going to be okay with us getting beat up. Never going to be okay with that. And that's what I told our team. Don't be okay. I don't care if it's the number one team in the country. We cannot be okay with maybe giving them some things and letting them have it easy. We have to make them earn everything. And you know what? I said we're UNI. And we have to start believing that UNI means something, and that we are one of the best teams in the country. And the way you do that is you have to compete against those top teams. You have to compete with a lot of fight. A lot of fight and a lot of hustle and a lot of effort and energy, and we did that at some weights, but we got to do it more. Where I want to get this program and where we talk about heading, we got a long ways to go. But beyond that, this is an exciting time of year. I mean, this is the best time of year for wrestling. I got to go down to the state tournament, and I love going down to the state tournament because you see goals and dreams realized. You see kids just wrestling for the love of the sport, just the pure joy. And sometimes our guys got to get back to the guy and understand that it is fun. It is fun being down there in that big arena and having people cheer for you. I mean, that's a great environment, and I know I'm looking forward to that environment. It's less than 5 weeks. We'll be down in Wells Fargo again, and we'll be having the national tournament there. And it's going to be a great atmosphere, and our guys are thinking about that and dreaming about that. But we have some work to do before then. So we got about 3 weeks before our qualifier in Buffalo. And we got to get our guys healthy and ready, and more than anything, we got to get them mentally sharp. The work's done. It's just about getting sharp right now. I mean, we've put months and months and months on end, so our shape is there. Now we just got to get our mind there and our body feeling good. I guess one good result is we lost to Wisconsin earlier this year, and then we beat them. It's always good to change things around, but we got to get ourselves ready to go for this conference tournament. And we shoot to Buffalo and getting 10 guys to the national tournament, and then we get ready for Des Moines. But the seasons, this is a time of year when you start getting those goosebumps a little bit. You start getting the butterflies, but a good one, just because you can't wait for all that work to kind of come to a head. and to get your opportunity to get on the stand and bring hardware home. Because the last 2 years we haven't brought any hardware home as individuals or as a team, and we want to change that. And we got some guys who are wrestling pretty well right now. I like how Loader's wrestling. He hasn't lost a match since Midlands. That's a good strain. So we got to get him. We got to get him to win the conference, and I know he's got the number 2 guy in the country there. So he's going to give a chance to move himself up. And Laser's wrestling well. We got some other guys wrestling well too. But like I said, we got to get all 10 clicking. And 3 weeks is a long time to get guys right mentally and physically. And we'll take a couple days to give them off right now, and then we'll get back at it. Any questions?
What about finishing 9-5? I mean, that's a pretty good duel, Brett.
I don't know about that. 5 losses. I mean, there's a few of them that I think we could have won a few more of those meets. There's a couple meets that we got beat up pretty good. But there's a few of them that we definitely could have won. But it's not about dual meets. I mean, dual meets are, we can point to that, but at the end of the year, it's about where we finish in the national tournament, how many guys we have up on the stand, how many points we score there. But I like where our team's going. To be 9-5, I guess that's a good thing. But I tell you what, I'm not going to remember that when we're in Des Moines Saturday night, and I'm not going to be thinking about our dual meet record. I'm thinking about how many guys we have being All-Americans and national champions.
How's the injury situation at 33 and 74?
He got dinged up a little. In the first match, Levi got dinged a little bit his shoulder, and you're at the point of the year where you got to get a guy ready for the postseason. He would have wrestled. It was my call. He's a guy that he's like, I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to wrestle, and I didn't know he was hurting. So you got to be smart too. I mean, would I liked him to wrestle that guy because that guy's one of the top ranked guys in the country, and get an opportunity against him? I would have, but at that point it wasn't worth it. And sometimes you got to weigh some things out. And Cody will be ready. We're working on ironing some things out with him and getting him ready for the conference tournament. And that's really all that matters right now, is getting guys ready for this conference tournament. So those guys will both be ready to go in Buffalo.
A lot of people were surprised by the IOC's recommendation. Were you?
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody was caught off guard. There's no more core sport than wrestling. I mean, the man against man, and you can go back through the history and it being in the ancient games, being in the game since day one, how many countries are represented, how much it really embodies the Olympic spirit, and it's even in the Olympic song. So I think everybody was shocked a little bit, but maybe there were some leadership issues with the governing body, and that's getting taken care of. The guys already resigned, and they're getting those things taken care of, so they can move forward, and we can have the sport in the Olympics, forever.
With the developments of the last week, now everybody trying to get on board. How confident are you that this recommendation might get reversed?
I mean, I'm confident because I believe in the people that are fighting this, and I know that it's not just in the U.S. getting together. Like I said, it's leaders from all those other countries that are coming together, and they've already formed. I mean, it's something where I've never seen as much publicity for anything wrestling involved. So it can be extremely positive thing as long as it's kept in Olympics. If it's not kept in Olympics, then it could be a crushing blow. But if it's kept in Olympics and they're able to overturn this thing, then I think wrestling's gonna thrive and be even in a better spot than it was before this. So, and I believe that's gonna happen. There's some things that are gonna happen in May, and then the ultimate thing is in September. But like I said, this is a recommendation. It's not over, and that we'll keep fighting till it gets changed.
If it isn't reinstated, how do you see it impacting college wrestling?
I've had that question before. I mean, softball lost out in the Olympics. And I haven't seen them be impacted. So I don't know how it's going to get impacted college wise. We don't want to go there. I mean, I don't want to have to wake up thinking about not having the Olympic Games as an opportunity for guys that I'm training right now, and for guys that I've been around and seen wrestling. You see some young guys coming up, and you're like, wow, this guy he could do that. We want to keep that for them, but I don't see it impacting college wrestling because I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm not going to worry about it.
One quick question about your team. I mean, you're off for 3 weeks. I mean, I know
Yep.
that'll help in terms of healing some of the injuries.
Yep.
But what about keeping the guys mentally and physically sharp?
You know, we'll do some different things. We'll do some things to stimulate them a little bit. You know, you got to change it up. And I got some ideas for some training things that can, like I said, just stimulate the guys a little bit. You know, I've never had 3 weeks before. I usually have 2 weeks, so it's been a little adjustment for me too. You know, kind of mapping out the training, but got a few ideas of some things that we'll do, and we can put just another edge on our guys. You know, a couple days off, and then you know, like I said, getting them mentally fresh more than anything. And so we'll do a few things. I'm not gonna talk about what we're gonna do because I don't want these other coaches out there knowing. I'm saying there's not really a whole lot of secrets out there, but there's a few things that I know that we can do to really get these guys so they're sharp as they can be for these postseason events. Yeah.
I've never heard why they're trying to take wrestling out of weapons. What's the reason? Sick?
I don't know if there's any good reasoning. I think that some of the other sports. I'm not here to bash the other sports. I mean, the other sports, all those other sports have people that work their life to have that opportunity too. I think that some of those other sports that were kept had some people that were fighting for them, and that definitely helped them. I've heard some things with the leadership not taking care of things that need to get taken care of, you know, for wrestling wise, and you know, wrestling didn't really have anything to defend it. When they're in that 15 member panel, wrestling interests weren't, from my understanding, weren't being defended very well, and their other sports were, and that's kind of how it came down. I don't know if we'll ever know, but I know that we're going to fight to make sure that the recommendation doesn't become final.
Well, they talked about a 40 criteria, but
Yeah.
they never divulged the numbers, like viewership and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of numbers, and I mean, I read everything I can on it right now. I just saw something today about, you know, that the 39 things that you talk about. Wrestling is high up in all those, you know, and so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at it from the outside looking in, but that's when politics get involved, and maybe some shady things behind the scenes get involved too, you know, so that's just how it works sometimes, unfortunately. But I don't know. I know that we got a lot of people in the right places who are working to get it changed.
How weird would it be to you to have Summer Olympics with synchronized swimming but no wrestling?
I mean, it'd be hard to watch an Olympic Games. I mean, I'm just from that point of view. And like I said, it's not about bashing synchronized swimming or any other sport, because like I said, I know that the hours and hours upon hours that they put into it too. It's more about what's right with wrestling. I don't know. I saw one thing that the guy said, you know, it's what's right with these other 25 core sports, and I can tell you there's a lot that's right with wrestling, as far as embodying Olympic spirit and what just the one-on-one struggle. You know, I mean, I can't think anything more that people can understand, you know, and relate to than just that wrestling struggle. So I don't know. I don't want to think about it. Yeah.
Hey, do you know why we don't like the high school wrestling tournament? I mean, it took me an hour to find it on TV. It's not on. Why did they take that off?
I don't know. I don't understand that either. I mean, that's something that should be on, you know, for everybody to see in the state. I don't really know what happened with that. I know that there's a lot of people like you that aren't very happy about it. They had a hard time finding the state tournament, but I don't know. Probably I know Public Television's hurting for funds, so sure if we could fund them back up so they can start getting college wrestling events on again and high school wrestling. I think that'd be awesome, because I know that's where I grew up watching the state tournament. Grew up watching, you know, Iowa State, UNI, you know. So I don't know if I can answer that question very well for you.
Where can we get those t-shirts?
I think through USA Wrestling, you can probably find one online. I know there's a lot of shirts out there right now, and there's a lot of people that are fighting for the sport. You know, like I said, when it's fresh and just happened, you know, everybody wants to talk about it, everybody wants to do something, but when you get a little bit farther away from it, then people start to forget. So I want people not to forget and to keep out there, keep talking about if you have something that been involved in wrestling and it's impacted you and had a positive impact in your life, go tell and talk about it, because that's really what we're trying to talk about here. It's not about other sports and what they don't do or what we're better at, but what wrestling does for us and how important it is to the youth of our country and the world. So, I don't know, you probably go online and find one. We just make our own. I mean, I'm gonna start making some. No, but appreciate the support. If you got any other questions there's some things that I'd like to say, but you don't say because you got to be politically correct. I mean, I'm sure Troy appreciates that. But we thank you guys for coming out. He said 3 weeks we'll be out in Buffalo at our national qualifier, and I know the landmark. I don't know if anybody knows where the landmark is, but they're going to actually show it. They're going to televise it. They're going to have it up on the big screen. So if you can't make it out there, I know he's going to show it up there, and I know you can get it online too. So we appreciate the support, and I know that we're looking forward to getting 10 guys to the national tournament, and then looking forward ultimately to the national tournament in Des Moines. So we appreciate the support. Thanks.